many times the desire is that you have, quote, a universal label or a common label for both the U.S. FDA and in some cases other regions. The identifier, let's first talk about the UDI identifier that would be required on that label, certainly now for the U.S. and then very soon for the European Union. Those deadlines come into play. But the UDI itself, the identifier, is global. So yes, you are able to use the very same identifier in the US, in the EU, and actually in any health authority that recognizes that particular standard. So GS1, HIBIC, ICC, BBA, all three of those are recognized in both regions that we talked about. So you can use that very same identifier. Now, when it comes to the other components on the label, you have to be a little bit cautious because some regions have their own rules. So in Europe, if you're importing data, like a foreign manufacturer and importing data, you'll need a European representative. So this authorized reps, you'll need an EC rep identifier on the label. You will also need a CE mark on the label. Both of those that I just mentioned are not applicable to the US. So some companies try to walk down that path where they have a universal label, and they find that sometimes they can pull it off. But as you start to expand the number of regions that you try to use that general label for, many times the regional requirements start to pile up, and now you don't have room on your label to accommodate all. So there's some also some language requirements in the European Union medical device regulation that come into play. So the quick answer is the UDI is able to be used globally, no problem there. But when it comes to the other components, it's going to start to crowd your label. I would highly recommend, obviously, there's good efficiencies in being able to use a common label. Yeah, one other thought. Sometimes companies use this particular regulation to be the trigger that causes them to switch over to a two-dimensional barcode. Though the advantage of that is the two-dimensional is much smaller, it's less real estate, and but you kind of have to watch it to make sure that your downstream users, your customers, are able to read that two-dimensional barcode. And if they're only set up for a UPC linear barcode, that you might have a problem there. But it is something as an option to consider going to two-dimensional. It's so much more of a dense type of symbology that you can put a lot more information in it, and over and above UDI actually into a very small space. So.